Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Activities for People Living at Home with Dementia. We are proud to offer this series with funding from the Area Agency on Aging and the United Way of Tarrant County. These programs are recorded and are made available for viewing through a YouTube channel for future use. I am your host for today's activities, and I am bringing to you Lee from the Fort Worth Museum of Science and History. She has brought some very interesting revolvers out of storage for us, and we get to see these when hardly anyone else does. Lee, I'm going to give you the speaker view so we can see you in detail, and the floor is yours.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you again.
Morning.
All right.
Morning.
So y'all requested firearms, and so I pulled a few from our collection in our warehouse, and I figured we'll talk about the one that I know the least about, because I feel like that's a good starting point. And I also, like I said, I have a pencil, I brought notes, things that maybe you could kind of help me with on some of these. And if something seems off on flagging any of these firearms, because I know y'all are very interested in these, let me know, because again, with our database, sometimes dates, some things just are like, I'm not quite sure. So I tend to flag some things and I do research with them to update it. So it's a little bit better, because these firearms haven't seen the light of day in a few years. And I did that on purpose. I picked artifacts that I wanted to exhibit. So we'll start there. So the first one that I have here is, I'm actually going to bring it over, yes, we're going to go ahead and try to zoom it in so you can see this.
Woohoo!
So hold on one second. I'm going to move these two revolvers.
But you always start with the one you know the most about.
No. This one's going to get us all fired up and our thinking caps on.
No
and I can
pun
tell you what
intended.
I know.
No pun intended, right?
Get it.
Fire up, yeah.
Okay, so this one, what I have here. It's sliding. No. Okay. So this is the one that we have flagged as North African. As you can tell, it is a flintlock muzzleloader pistol. I don't know if it's a dueling pistol. We do not have a pair of them. Now with this one, what I have as far as our database is they originate in the late 1700s. This one's roughly 19 inches. And it's missing its trigger piece.
It is
here. But what's interesting about these is I was starting to do research on them, because our database says Egyptian. It might be Moroccan. It might be, so North African, I think I'm just going to put as very broad. So you can tell you've got your ramrod here.
Ramrod, yeah.
Yep, so you got the ramrod. But this was purchased by a gentleman who I did forget his name, but it was purchased in, I want to say the 20s, and it was gifted to us obviously later on. But with these, and I don't know if anyone has heard of this, if they were making these pistols for tourist quality. And in the database, it says that the man purchased this in Cairo. And so there are a lot apparently of tourist quality, but this one's heavy. It doesn't appear to be tourist quality, but then I also have no idea as far as how to even gauge that. This is the only one that we have, I believe, within the collection. So there's really nothing to compare it to. It just, again, the weight from the butt of the gun to just how it's built. I mean, I don't know if it would be tourist, but I do know that they were making them and sold, and that it was pretty common. Some of them still
Is there any engraving on it that says any words?
So there is some, I'm gonna flip this around.
Lee, I don't know what tourist quality is.
See, tourist quality would be something along the lines of not fully mass produced, but they would have made replicas and sold to people. They would have taken an original and just kind of made it look similar, like a cheaper version.
Yeah.
You wouldn't use it in battle.
Maybe.
The replicas, you might be able to. I don't know. I don't think this is a replica. It does have a lot of damage. So we got some engraving here. And yes, please. We're gonna see if we can zoom in.
That's as close as I can get.
Okay.
Oh, tilt it back up just a little bit. A little more, a little more, a little more, a little more. Stop.
There.
Stop.
Looks like it's not written in English.
No, but I just, the way it's engraved, I was unable to figure out exactly what language it was.
That's
and you can Google these and you'll see a lot of pictures, but it's hard to tell as far as which ones are authentic and which ones were made, later on in like the late 1800s and early 1900s to sell to tourists. This one, just because of the weight, and you can tell
Yeah, it's very.
You can see.
You need to take it to Pawn Stars and let them have their.
Yeah, Pawn Stars, right?
Yeah, Pawn Stars. They're kidding.
Oh, Steve.
You can definitely see some damage as far as in
the stock.
Wood, the stock, and I mean
it looks like it's not a tourist.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. And
maybe tourist meant something different back then.
It may have.
Could be.
Some of the articles I was reading, because I was actually I was kind of Googling just some forums where people are posting questions, and I'm over here trying to identify just roughly what kind of pistol this is, other than it being a flintlock and a muzzle, muzzle loader and all that implies. I go, you can tell just by, the butt of the gun. I go, well, this isn't American. And even some of the tourist quality ones, they said that were sold in the late 1800s were still could be expensive, because these are ornate. You can tell there was a lot of craftsmanship that went in them. I have no idea where the trigger apparatus went, but you can see it's just starting, like the wood itself, where the metal. So I wasn't quite sure if anyone had ever seen something like this or had any reference to any kind of pistol like
Don,
this.
have you ever seen anything like this in your
I've seen something like that. I mean, I can identify some specific characteristics of it.
Mm-hmm.
For example, it's got the hammer for the pistol that strikes the flint is in back.
Yep.
And then the other device is where you load the powder in, and it's more like when you're ready to load the powder in, you load it, then you cock it, then you fire it.
Yeah.
Isn't that called a flash pan, Don?
Yes, it is called a flash pan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me write that down. Flash pan.
We can all learn something, can't we?
Oh yes, I was very excited about this program. I was gonna learn some things today.
Wow, Steve, you're a genius.
Flash
No.
pan. Well, and I think on just some of the initial research on these guns was that Europeans were also making similar. I think.
Oh yeah.
And they took inspiration from maybe Spain or just and then of course it makes its way to the northern part of Africa.
Yeah.
But
It looks like a European style.
it does. It does.
I just looked up some similar pistols, and they look almost identical to that.
Yes.
But they don't have any detail that I'm looking for. So.
And so it would be fun to figure out how to authenticate this one, because it's not, it was donated many years ago. And again, back when the museum was collecting international pieces, which is how we would have acquired this firearm as opposed to American ones. But I figured you might like this one, because I thought this one was a good. We go across the Atlantic and start before we get back to the US.
I think one of the ways they try and authenticate it is the type of screw that was used,
Oh,
because
okay.
that would date it.
That would date it, would be a screw. Absolutely. I'm right.
Yeah.
Wow, Steve, you're a pistol expert, dude.
No.
He's just a pistol.
No, thank you.
He's a pistol, that's right.
I think we all are some days, aren't we?
Oh,
Yep.
absolutely. This is a whole group of pistols.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay. Are we ready to move on, or do you want to see this anymore? We can always come back to it.
Well, I'm going to try to look up something real quick.
Got it.
I'm trying to figure out what the caliber of this thing is because it looks like it's a hand cannon, quite frankly.
Yeah, it does.
The caliber of it is would be a musket ball,
Mhm.
probably
Mhm.
size of that, and the amount of power to get it out
Mhm.
would probably make it very difficult to aim unless you're very strong.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, that and the weight too, Don.
Yeah,
Pistol. Yeah.
Mhm.
Those pistols, if I remember right, were not really accurate.
Right. I did know that. Yes. I can actually kind of see that. And I wish we had a caliber. Like I said, we really did not have a lot of information on this piece other than,
A
roughly
gunsmith, gunsmith could measure the bore,
yeah.
and he'd be able to tell you a caliber.
Okay.
Hey, I just found one that's very similar to that.
Yeah.
This is a .63 caliber, which is
Okay.
really quite a large.
Yeah, it is. That is a big. Yeah.
What you call it, ball.
That's.
It says it's a
that's
smooth bore, so it does not have a very very good accuracy.
Right. That is a big ball for a firearm.
That is.
That's over a 50 caliber, isn't it?
It is. It's over. Yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
well over 50 caliber.
Yeah, that's big.
It would have a big kick to it.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
I could see that.
Like I said, something that size would be kind of try to point and click, but
Mhm.
the accuracy, I'm not sure how well it was because
So close
It's
I
more-
range.
know rifles that are that around that caliber.
Yeah.
They're big long things that
Mhm.
have you could hold two hands to shoot with,
Mhm.
and it's that's just interesting. Okay.
I think some of it was more to scare people than anything else.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. At that point in time.
Pretty.
Well, it still is with firearm. Anyway,
Yes.
okay.
Intimidate.
Intimidate.
Oh yeah.
I love all the brass, like,
All the
decoration on
detailing.
it, yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. It's very.
Well, if you're going to shoot somebody, be elegant about it.
right.
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 Well,
The
just
reason I
like-
don't
But
think
you
it's a
must look-
dueling
you must
pistol
look-
is because it's a little bit too big for a dueling pistol.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were
It
not
is.
quite as big.
Okay, because I was thinking, I had wondered if it was and it was part of a pair.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
Nice. Okay, I can definitely work with that. That makes sense to me. Nice. Thank you. Are we ready to move on?
Sure.
Are
Sure.
we good?
We'd
Okay.
love to see more.
Yeah, we'll see more. Okay, so I'll actually just move that one over here for right now. And then the next one I wanted to focus on and also get some input from y'all is this little one here that I'm a little fan of.
Oh,
This
yeah.
one is from Belgium.
Mhm.
This one dates back to World War I as a pocket revolver.
Mhm.
So it's a circa 1910. And I don't think I'm getting the name correct, but it is I found one online that looks exactly like this, a Velo dog, V as in Victor, ELODOG. And so you've got the
Hmm.
trigger
Mhm.
and you've got the safety back here. I don't know if it's a
Mhm.
small safety, but that it was used for, I guess, personal protection. But what I found information on it was used to maybe for people who were cyclists or on their own to maybe like protect themselves against dogs. I mean, it was something
Okay.
about dogs,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's where the name originates from, as far as a velo dog or a velo dog.
Very, like, pocket size.
Because I
Yes,
think
so-
velo is cycle.
is
I
it
remember right.
okay? All right.
I think
because
so.
Let me write that down too.
I might be wrong, but it's kind of something sticks in the back of my brain.
Well, I
Steve,
do
you're a
know that it comes from a French design by
Yeah.
Charles Francois Galland, and so Galland, and so you would just, pull that. I really like this one.
Yeah.
About a 22.
It's about 22. I just looked up on,
Yeah,
on Wikipedia. It's about 22. I don't know how you open it up to put the
Right here. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can see that. You would just
Like
drop
the-
that,
Yeah. It just kind of
Okay.
opens up
and it just opens and you
it just
load.
opens up and okay. Got it.
Yeah, load one at a time.
Got
and
it. Okay.
move it, yeah. The cylinder
Alright.
doesn't pop out like the others.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
It's there.
But I thought this one was pretty interesting. But I wasn't really familiar with this or even World War I
Mhm.
weapons. I thought this was interesting as far as the trigger.
How's it spelled again?
Yeah.
It is VELODOG.
So,
And then I do like the fact that it has a safety.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, pocket revolver. It's absolutely a pocket revolver. Velocipede. All right. Have any of y'all ever seen anything like this?
I've seen small compact pistols like that, but
Mhm.
I've seen that
Not seeing that one.
brand. No.
An interesting. I wonder.
Does it
But
have any
these
writing on it?
It doesn't. I'll tell you what. Oh, yes, there is a little bit of writing at first. So our records in our database they say it is maybe like Bavarian, Imperial Germany. That's what was kind of listed as a possibility for this little firearm. However, I had to get a little microscope, not a microscope, had to go look and get a flashlight and whatnot. But there are actually just there's a few markings right up here that you can't see
Yeah.
here. And then there's also some individual ones right, I don't know, hold on the cylinder,
Mm-hmm.
right in between.
Oh, okay. No, I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was there'll be like one right there. There's one on this side here.
Okay.
And so I was looking at, it's kind of an image of maybe like a crown
Hmm.
and a
Okay.
lion.
A crown and a lion?
That'd be more Belgium, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
Yeah.
lion was a
think.
Belgian symbol.
exactly, which is why
Yeah.
that's why I put it as Belgium and not
Mhm.
Germany, because of those little, engravings, super small. I really had to look at them. And then I found something online, like an L with a crown, something like that. But then Belgium, I go, this actually makes sense. So I do think that may have been not completely inaccurate when they put Germany.
The L with the crown could be Leopold. He was the king.
Yeah.
That
King
might
of
be it.
Belgium
That
at that
actually
time.
might be it because of that
Yeah.
L in the crown. I'm gonna make note of that right quick. King Leopold. Yep.
Wow,
I didn't even
Steve,
think
you
about
are
that.
So smart.
Just think what we're sharing with Lee may be shown to someone else down the line.
Oh
Yep.
my
Should
goodness,
get
yes.
these out again. That's exciting.
It's great. It can definitely point me into a better avenue for research as far as if I kind of know what I'm looking for. But other than those little engravings in the cylinder around, and then there's just a little bit right there. That's it. There is nothing else to mark this gun.
But I just read something interesting about Velo Dog. For the most humane, there were cartridges loaded with cayenne pepper or dust, or which had bullets made from wax, wood, or cork, which make them less lethal.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. So it really was more for a dog, things like that. So it didn't kill the dog, it more
Yeah.
warded it off.
Deterred the dog.
it did. Yeah, a good deterrent.
Yeah. The noise would deter the dog pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But then cayenne pepper would deter it even more.
Yeah, even more.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So I was definitely, which makes sense that it could be modified, because I had read that these things were capable of, I guess you could do a little bit more with them, or I don't even know as far as like when these would be phased out. Were they still using them in World War II? I mean, do people collect them? I know that, but I'm not
Well, it was,
familiar.
they would come from they were developed in the late 19th century, would be the 1800s, right?
Yes.
But maybe they may have all sorts of them in process. They could be used during World War I.
Well, and this kind of leads me to another train of thought as far as production, as far as who was manufacturing these guns. It wouldn't be the U.S.
No.
So I don't know what would be your leading firearm manufacturing in Europe.
Yeah.
Because
I don't either.
Because I do know there's some overlap with, firearm production here that's going to other countries in World War I and World War II, and they're naming theirs, Austria's naming a rifle different, or, it's, and I have to do some research on that.
I suspect at the time this was the time that they started building this, the gun makers were probably small or medium-sized operations that did either very limited numbers or just supplied a few at a time. But if it's been over, if it's been in production for like 30 years, they could accumulate a lot of them.
Okay.
The one marking on it that's not the crown and the lion, is it a number?
Well, it is. Let me see. So you got the crown. There is.
You really need your flashlight and a magnifying glass for that.
I know. I had to use one a couple of days ago. I'm gonna have to. Well, so there's one. It looks like a 0, like a circle. But other than that, I don't see a number. I see like an A and an R, and it looks like they share the same, like it's back to back with a star above it. But I see no other, even what's over here at this, well, hold on. Nope. Even on the barrel, there's actually some more engraving here, but it's the exact same as what's on the cylinder. You've got a lion, you've got PV, a crown with an L. I can't quite tell. I'm gonna have to get my glasses.
I wonder if the AR and the star might be the manufacturer.
Yeah, I was looking up to see if I can find a manufacturer.
Looks like a logo.
It could be. Let me see.
So now you guys know our secrets, that museum collections do not necessarily have all the answers
No.
to all the things that are in there.
Don't
tell anyone.
Yeah, don't tell people. No, I can't know everything about everything.
Doesn't that make you feel better?
It does. It makes me, I feel humble, and it keeps me sharp. So I have to research and understand, and just terminology. There's terminology that was used, that was put in the database, that was, written by hand decades ago. Terminology, especially when it comes to sewing, I'm not familiar with. Different type of crochet styles or different stitches, we'll find those things, and I'm just not familiar with that terminology. And so we do our best, but some of those you can't even find on Google. I just don't know. But we try to keep what was originally put on paper, but people's handwriting, sometimes you can't make out what they're saying, what you're reading. So we really just have to be mindful of that. but I can look up maybe an AR or what was going on in Belgium
Well,
in
be
World War
careful when you look up AR, because you're liable to come
Yes.
up with AR rifles,
Oh.
AR-15
Right, yeah.
rifles.
You know, that's
Um,
interesting that you say that, because the director of education was in here this morning as I was getting things ready. And she's like, I bet your search history's already been flagged by the FBI. And I was like, it totally has been. It's been flagged for the last
Okay,
couple
Don,
of
you've been,
years.
sir, yours has been flagged, Don.
Yeah, mine was
Mine's
flagged a
been
long time
flagged.
ago, okay?
Yeah, I know.
You know,
Because
if we
I
all-
look at everything from antique websites, just whatever I can find, forums, anything for any firearms. So I like this one.
if we all looked up AR, then they might think we were a subversive group.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
absolutely.
A domestic terrorist cell.
And we would
Hopefully
be
you-
getting knocks on our doors.
Hopefully you did your search because of a museum with the museum
Yes.
website.
It was on the museum's computer, so
And so that probably will not flag it as much
I hope
because
not.
it's a museum.
It's completely valid what I'm doing. I mean, I haven't hit
yeah.
anything crazy, but you'll see some things from knives to firearms where I'm like, I don't know. I have to look. Okay. So now we come back to
Lions, does it have
United
tigers
States.
and bears?
So we come to the United States, and then I get to show you this little treasure right here,
Oh, yeah.
little Derringer.
Derringer, yeah.
And so I just think this is just a fun little gun. Now, this one I had to figure out a little bit because I couldn't figure out how you load it. But you've got to cock it back, and then there is right there. It twists. Let me see if there we go.
Okay.
Mhm.
As far as how you load it.
Oh, it's a big hole.
There we go.
That's a good caliber too.
Yeah,
It
it's a big,
is.
yeah, it's not
Yeah.
22.
And it's got this little thing right here that you push in with this button to hold it.
Yeah.
And then you put it back. And then the trigger is very slight. It's right there.
Yeah, I see it.
Oh, yeah. That's little.
Yep. It's just a little. I just did a dry fire. And then there you go. So what I have on this one here is, let me get circa 1860 to 1865. This one has a lot of engraving on it, as you can already tell. Some of the words are a little bit harder to make out. This one it was given, let me see. It was given by General R.B. Mitchell to G. Williams, lieutenant, but all of that is written here in cursive, but I cannot make out. I get G. Williams, but there are additional letters after that name. So you've got LT, which I assume lieutenant, but then the other letters, it's all in cursive. It could be, we were thinking it was something like maybe a V, an A, a D, maybe a C. This is from the National Arms Company. This one is Brooklyn, New York. But I have no idea. And so I was thinking what information I found was the National Arms Company. This is a 41 caliber.
Mhm.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
I believe that was just based on my search, that these were made post-Civil War for a few years, for about 5 years after the Civil War. And I'm assuming that this one was given, like ceremonial, just because there's so much engraving. And of course there's engraving with the names of who gave it to the person. And if you Google General R.B. Mitchell, a Union general, I forget what the R, I think the B is Boyington Mitchell. You can read a little bit about him. My question was, what do you think would come after G. Williams lieutenant? because I don't know, you know, I was searching my military terms during the Civil War, or what would, you know, like I said, there are 4 letters at the end of Williams that
Give us the letters again.
Well, that's the thing. Some of them are really hard to see. We were thinking, so right after lieutenant, or you got LT, it looks like a V, and then
Okay.
it looks like an A, and maybe a P,
Mhm.
and then maybe a C. I'm almost positive that the end one is a C.
Probably the VA is Virginia.
Okay.
E and C. I'm trying to think.
If it's a P or a C.
Something company, P company. Something.
Yeah, it's Virginia something. It's my opinion.
Well, and I was thinking that Virginia as well, because that for sure it's an A. I'm 100% positive it's an A. It looks like a VA. That sure does look like a P. And I don't know if that could be a C. I don't think it's an E. But you know, it's in that script that's very flowy.
Yeah.
That you just can't. It's kind of hard. Or it's just been kind of faded, or it's been weathered down where I can't see it. But it does have an arrow and a star. So the arrow, you might be able to see it just a bit here. Arrow, star. Yeah, let's see what we can zoom. We're gonna try to zoom in more.
That's what probably means this is the exit.
That's the most the camera will zoom.
I'm trying to figure out with my lighting here.
Yeah, I see it.
Mhm.
There it is. And so the writing is, you know, on that side. And then of course you've got the Brooklyn, New York is over here. But, and it's got some, I mean, nice engraving.
Mhm.
Very light. I'm a fan of this one. So is my boss. She was looking at this one. Have any of y'all ever seen anything like this?
Well, I just looked it up on Wikipedia, and this one looks like, and it actually looks exactly like one that's called the Colt Derringer. It was Daniel Moore was apparently a gunsmith that patented the single metal cartridge, 38 rimfire.
Mhm.
And then they sold out to National Arms, which produced a single shot 41 caliber rimfire till 1870.
Rimfire. Okay, 41, because I have 41 caliber RF, and I wasn't quite sure about the RF. Was rimfire. Okay.
Rimfire.
All right, perfect. That makes way more sense now. Thank you. Rimfire.
It could be, you know, it was presented to him, but it looks more like it would be like for a, I'm trying to think for it now. What I think, more like a Pinkerton, something like that.
Possibly.
Pocket, you know, a personal protection pocket, but more
one shot pocket
one-shot pocket protection.
Yeah.
Yes. But because of his position as a military man, a lot of them were hired as the security detectives after the war.
Oh, I guess that is possible, isn't it? Well, and it definitely, to give scope, you know.
Yeah,
it is not very,
because many times they carried a larger revolver, but also a Derringer, a second shot, just in case. And some of them were actually in sleeve harnesses.
Yeah.
Oh,
they could pull them out.
Yeah.
That makes sense, because I mean, this wouldn't go in a boot or anything like that.
No.
Or it wouldn't be a sidearm as far as like a leg, right? This would have to be like closer to your person.
When I look at that, I see a Western saloon, a gambler playing poker.
Yeah.
And then somebody stand up and said, "You're cheating." And then the guy says up, "No, I'm not." And pow.
Okay.
It'd be more like not a, how do you say, we consider Western more of a refined person.
Gentleman's gun.
That's why I was thinking more of the detectives, because they were not
Okay.
always Western. They, a lot of them were more Eastern.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's my thoughts, but
Making notes. I like that. Huh. I have a whole story right in my head that I can't prove or disprove of a person
right.
that
hey, it
would.
worked great as storytelling. We
Would
can
be
come up with a lot of
great.
stories. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Okay. That's some good information right there.
Lee, we'll help you anytime.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
Again,
you.
this is a very large caliber bullet.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
For a little handgun.
Yeah.
So it probably makes a big noise, and
Oh.
Yes.
it's hard to really aim.
Well, my thing was, how much would this kick?
It'd kick
A lot.
it would, if you had a good grip of it, it would lift your hand up
Okay.
as the bullet left.
Well, and I knew with smaller weapons, with smaller firearms, because I mean, they do kick.
Yeah.
They generally kick more
Yeah.
than.
And it's not a real accurate weapon. It's more of a close. No. It's a close,
Close.
Mhm.
Yeah. Close
Very
encounter.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So point blank, just
Point blank.
you're
basically.
going to be very
yes.
close. Okay. I'm just going to put that as far as just short distance. Short distance. All right. Woohoo.
An intimate kill.
That's right.
Yes, you're going to be face to face. You're definitely going to know them. Okay, so we'll put short distance for that one. Anyone left-handed by chance? Just because.
I am. Yeah.
Me too. Yay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We rule the world.
Yes.
Lefties rule the world.
I get a kick out of who's left-handed and who's not. All right. So I'm going to put this one back over here. And I think this next one I want to pull is this one is a Smith & Wesson Model 30 revolver, circa 1929. And this one, actually, we have a holster. It actually came with a holster. If you could zoom out just a little bit, please. Just a little bit. We're going to try to. But I have a question for this one. So we've got the holster. And obviously it is supposed to fit about the hip or
No.
leg.
No.
No.
Shoulder.
It's a shoulder.
Shoulder.
holster.
Oh my gosh, it's
It's a
shoulder.
shoulder
holster.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. I try not to touch this too much. This is a shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Shoulder holster.
Yep.
So would the firearm be under your armpit?
Coat. Probably under your coat.
Your coat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Or jacket, whatever you're wearing.
I'll be dang. I just assumed that this was a little bit on the longer side and that you wouldn't put it. Oh.
No, it'd be underneath. In that time frame, it'd either be law enforcement or gangster.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh wow. Such
Yeah.
stark contrast.
Yeah, in that time frame.
Yeah. I agree.
Continued on our storyline. Let's go gangster.
Yeah, it's gangster. Well, I pulled this one. So 32 caliber. It's a double action. But I had a question because I read things and I was kind of confused, so I figured I'd get y'all's opinion. Okay, the hammer. It's been filed down. Now, it supposedly for quicker to make it faster.
It will not catch.
It will not catch you.
As you pull it out of the holster, it's not a kind of catch on your coat or anything else.
Okay, see,
Right.
that makes sense now because when you told me that this was a shoulder holster, because I kept thinking, I was like, I'm not quite sure why you would file it down, but who am I to? It happened.
Quicker draw.
A quicker draw. Okay, because our records have that, but when I was doing some research, I wasn't quite sure, but I was thinking it was, a saddle gun or something that was, on a hip.
Actually, it could be in a hip holster. I mean,
Yeah, it could, either one. It could
either
be
one,
either one.
didn't work on either one.
But
the
if it was,
if it came with that holster, then it was a
Yes.
shoulder holster.
and they did come together, so
Yeah,
shoulder,
okay.
that suddenly makes way more sense
Yeah,
as far as why
But
you
that
would buy
model
it.
could be in a hip holster too.
Okay, and so this one, Smith and Wesson, Springfield, Massachusetts, USA patent, October 8th through what, December? I can read that. Okay, yeah. And then the cylinder slides out.
Pops out.
Yep.
Mhm.
So very, to me, easier to clean.
Yep.
It's just me. I actually like this one. This 38 special.
38. Wow.
I have,
That's a lot of the
well,
police, I think, use 38 specials.
Yeah, I think this is when I look this up, it comes up Colt new police revolver.
Yeah.
okay. So what I have in the database is Smith and Wesson Model 30 revolver, circa 1929, 32 caliber. How is that different than a
32 caliber? Okay. 32
but this
caliber.
one says a 38 Smith and Wesson Special CTG.
The 38 probably refers to the model, not the caliber.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
The
That's
model
probably right.
itself.
Yeah.
Right. So 30. That looks about right for a 32 caliber
Mhm.
pistol.
There wasn't really that many 38
No.
models made.
No.
So it's probably the model number.
Yeah.
Okay.
If there was a 38 special, was there a 38 regular?
I don't know. I know there's 38. There's 38s. I think they're still produced,
Yeah.
but they're more 32 calibers, or
Uh-huh.
even some 22s are made with
Yeah.
38s. Yeah.
Okay. So 32 caliber.
It's a model number. It's model.
It's just model
type.
number. Yeah.
It's a type. Oh.
Okay. All right. So this could actually be law enforcement then.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Ooh.
I'm thinking more of Elliot Ness.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
That's what I was
Exactly.
thinking. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was thinking. I was like, okay, law enforcement.
The FBI, Elliot Ness, that type of thing,
Mhm.
because it's the time frame is when you had Capone and things like that. People, because it was prohibition.
Prohibition.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. That makes way more sense now. Oh, look, such good. We're so productive this Thursday. Shoulder holster. I'm so happy.
You need to make sure that we have y'all back for the next quarter, please.
Yes.
Oh,
Please.
sure.
Yes.
Work with Gail to get some dates, would you?
All right.
Hey,
Okay.
Hey, we can write any history you want.
Yeah. We can really get creative with this.
Oh yeah, we'll just historical fiction was we craft a
Oh,
narrative
that's
for
right.
It could be. We could put in. This was Elliot Ness's
Yes.
shoulder holster. Shoulder revolver.
And then my boss is over there coming in like, what are you doing?
What are you
All
doing?
right.
What are you doing?
Why are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
taking liberties?
Yeah, I know.
So the next one, I've got two Colts here. I like this one
Yeah.
because
really?
this one is Civil War, was fought,
Right.
used in the Civil War.
It'd be an officer's weapon.
Yes. So I've got an Army Colt circa 1860 to 1865, 44 caliber. This one actually had 6 lead balls removed from the chamber.
Mhm. That's cool.
Let me see if I can even. They're not in the best of condition. Imagine that.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Looks like a bullet.
So,
because they would had balls. They had caps, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had
Yeah.
little pouch.
Actually, they probably had regular rimfire that had a cartridge and and a lead slug.
Yes,
some type.
that's what I have. So
Okay.
it says 6 lead balls from revolver chambers. It was removed in 1991. I was just a few years old when it was
Oh my
actually
gosh.
taken out. Anyways, what I have is, it is a cap and ball, single action. I'm assuming during this time that they were used as a sidearm by cavalry, infantry,
Mhm.
paper cartridges. You know, you still have the
Yeah,
right to, you know,
The prime-
pack it
prime-
in there,
priming rod.
the
Yeah.
priming rod, and you know, you still have to like see, you move it, you have to pull back the hammer.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
Heavy piece
yeah.
here, but
Sure looks funny.
a little bit of interesting. Sorry, Rebecca, I apologize for pointing a firearm at you.
Oh, that's
Gun
all right. No,
safety, you're
okay.
never supposed to, but I'm trying to like show you both sides. I'm sorry, Rebecca. Anyways,
Oh.
I found a piece of history on this one. These originally cost about $20,
Yeah.
and they were considered very expensive.
Mhm.
And Colt got flack. They were criticized. And so eventually they were lowered to, they took a few dollars off down the road, but they were considered expensive by military and civilian because both carried this, either or, but the Army.
Mhm.
And then how it got in, you know, Confederate hands. This one does say that it was used during, you know, for CSA, but I don't know. But
Hey, can you turn around the other side, please?
yes.
See, I don't see anywhere where the normal loading would be that, you know, when you put
Oh,
put the ball on the.
right. The only thing I would know, yeah, I mean, you would just, I guess you'd have to do what? Just put it in. Can you zoom out just a bit, please?
And then you load it
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the only thing I can
Got
think
it,
Primer.
of.
got it,
Yeah.
got it,
Is it?
Yeah.
You'd
got it. Yeah.
watching it,
You put
and
it-
then
You put
You
in the
would-
cap and then the ball
Yep.
and you prime it.
then you would
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
cock it
okay.
and do
Thank you.
another.
I understand
Click it
now.
around now.
Yeah. I've seen movies with them using that same exact revolver, and you can see them priming it
Mhm.
after they load it.
Can you zoom back out, please? Yeah, that's the only way I knew how to
Mhm.
do it, would be that you would have to do it, you know,
Yeah.
cock it, move over to
And
the next one.
you could put in all of the caps and balls, but you had to prime each one.
Yeah, you'd have to prime each one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, please. This is actually a lot heavier than what I would personally want to carry, but very popular.
Yeah, they were
Very popular.
Yeah.
before and after.
Before and after, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
there were a
so
lot.
the
Leslie,
other
are you a
Colt,
gun owner?
Am I a gun owner? No.
No, is Leslie a gun owner?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Lee, I'm sorry, Lee,
Lee.
yes,
are you a gun owner?
yes,
Now, that's why you're so comfortable with them. Okay.
yes. No, my family, just, you know, my dad, antique gun collect. I mean, I usually call him
Mhm.
from time to time.
Mhm.
How,
I've been around firearms.
well, and you've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
categorizing, cataloging
That's
this
true.
collection too for quite a while.
That's true. I have been inventorying our weapons collection. That was something that my boss gave me to do ongoing, just because it is, we do have a large collection, and the way they were kind of,
Mhm.
you know, housed, she wasn't familiar. And
Right.
so,
Yeah.
okay, I can do
Hey,
that.
So Lee, you guys don't know this, but Lee just finished making some new displays in the museum, and one of them has rifles and shotguns
Yes, too.
displayed from that was part of that work, and then she
Yeah.
also stone tools and
Yes.
What's the last one?
Blades,
Blades.
metal blades. I was looking at
Mhm.
knives and knife sheaths and grinding stones and things like that. So, you know, definitely tools,
Mhm.
you know, material culture within
Yeah.
the US. So yeah, we just,
These did make the cut.
these didn't, but that's only because the niche that Rebecca's referring to, I pulled 2 long rifles and a shotgun from the late to early, like late 1700s, early 1800s.
Yeah.
And so, you know, all muzzle loaders and flintlock, and that fit that niche. These, you know, we can tell are mid 19th century on up. And so that's why they didn't make the cut this go around.
Okay.
Mhm.
But we'll have to show you the one that I pulled that was early 1800s was a Colt Army Dragoon. And that's a fun little one. It's heavy. It's not, I mean, I had to watch a video. I had to go to YouTube to watch a video as far as how to kind of load that one, because it was very similar
Because you have to
to
clean them
this.
all, right?
These have been clean for the most part. When it comes to firearms, we do have a little bit of conservation work on them, but we generally keep them as they are, just to maintain as far as like how we got them. So unless it's absolutely needing conservation, we try not to touch them too much. We will keep them as is. So you'll see some are just kind of not, you know, whether it's holsters or, you know, lead balls were found, you know, we'll remove things like that, but we do try to keep it. And the reason why is because I've come across some rifles, even a shotgun from time to time, where you can tell it's been repaired. Yeah. Because as we all know, firearms, you're going to use, I mean, they're expensive. They're not easy to acquire 200 plus, you know, years ago. And so you're going to use it. You're going to take care of it. You're going to repair it. And so, you know, you take it to a conservator or someone, you know, we don't want that altered. That's the provenance of the firearm. So, you know, that stays. And, you know, every little, you know, blemish or anything like that, we want to keep.
It would be like refinishing
It would be. Yeah, it'd be like refinishing an antique piece of furniture. You don't want that. We want to be able to tell that. And so this last one that I pulled for you is a Colt, another Colt for comparison. This is the Colt Army single action revolver. This one is circa 1873 to 1874. So we already have metal. We've got metal cartridges. We've got bullets. Yay. Yay.
Yeah.
You know, you can cylinder. Yeah, can you zoom out just a bit, please?
So single action means that the trigger doesn't pull the hammer back. You have to hand pull the hammer back.
Yes. Right. Yeah. After each shot.
After each shot, yeah.
After each shot, you'd have to do that. And I'm trying to think what else I have on this one here. Let's see, 1873 to 1874. This one has, let me see if I can read it, y'all. Colts manufacturing, Hartford, Connecticut. We've got numbers. We got serial numbers.
Yeah.
Yay. What I have information on it is B Company 3rd Cavalry, as far as 45 caliber, also known as a Peacemaker. That's the one.
Peacemaker,
Peacemaker, yeah.
Or also known as a Frontier 6 shooter.
Yep.
And obviously Hollywood's go-to for our wonderful Westerns.
Yeah.
Single of this one. And so eventually the Army adopted this, and I think that's really where I'm a little bit more familiar with it. But you can tell how within a few years you kind of go technology.
Yeah.
You've got.
What's the weight difference between them?
You know, truthfully, that's a really good question. I don't know if there is much of it. They feel very similar. They really do. There can't be much of a difference between them. I believe, you know, they're very similar.
Yeah.
You can tell with the young one being right here.
What's the date of the Okay, the first, both revolvers, I'm sorry. Again.
Oh, this one. Okay, so the older one is 1860 to 1865 is what we have.
Okay, okay,
And then this one is 1873 to 1874. And that's actually the patent as far as on
okay.
the firearm itself on the revolver.
Well, the first one probably Civil War. The second one was probably Indian Wars.
Well, see,
Yeah,
that's what I was
that's-
thinking too,
yeah.
was that.
This was a classic
Yeah.
Western cowboy gun.
Right.
That we were back going wet, you're right, because after the Civil War, you have people like General Custer who,
Yeah.
made a name for themselves after the Civil War, and they need something to do. So you go to the plains and you
Because
have
dragoon,
Indian Wars.
the dragoon was basically a cavalry,
Yes, sir.
firearm.
Mhm.
Even though it was adapted to the West for other areas. It was basically the Army model was a cavalry. And originally dragoons, basically they carried them and dismounted their horses and fired. But then eventually adapted to fire, from horseback.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes complete sense to me, as far as just, so they were popular, they
Yeah.
were used.
How they were, yeah.
And
So, one of the things that movies kind of highlight with this kind of thing is that when they draw the gun, and with
Mhm.
one hand, they start fanning the
yes,
the trigger, not the trigger, the hammer back,
hammer.
so they can get as many bullets out before the other guy does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then fanning, it's very dramatic. I've never fanned a revolver, but yeah, people would do it. But the Colt, I think having a side by side, you can tell technology is really pushing forward.
Mhm.
Now you've got the brass cartridge, and we're about to hit, by the 20th century, right before World War I. I think a lot of people, or whenever I talk to guests, especially younger people, as far as like that concept of modern warfare, as far as when that gets issued worldwide, as far as in World War I, but things like that, just marking history. But yeah, so we got these, and so that was actually everything that I brought today.
And that was the perfect number.
Thank you, Leah. That was great.
Thank you so much. Y'all gave me some good information that I can maybe just try to, just tweak what's in the database for us, because I think it's interesting. And sometimes I need, a little bit of direction can kind of give me more research, or other than like calling
Yeah.
Cabela's or Bass Pro or something, and just, hey, what do you have? Or just an antique gun dealer or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Lee, we would love it if you would contact Gail and get on our calendar for next quarter.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I know I said it once, but I wanted to say it again because we were all
I
so
think we
interested.
are.
I think we already are. I think we've got stuff set up through October.
Good.
I want to say.
Good.
Okay.
But we definitely want to be on your calendar. So.
And
Yes.
we want you to be.
My ring.
And
Uh-oh.
mention it to Gail also, Martha.
Yes. Oh, I will. Or if we all send her a note.
Yeah.
We can do that. Well, let's take a look at what's coming up tomorrow, gang. Let's see. Paul Deemer, singer-songwriter from Texas Winds. So we should have some originals coming at us tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we go from Lee and the Ancient Guns to brand new music that's never been written before.
Yeah, we just good.
And Lee, if
Move
y'all
along.
ever want to stop in and check in on us, it's the same login every day.
Okay.
If you ever just want to peek in and see what we're doing, you're welcome to visit.
Thank you so much.
Hey.
Thank you for the invitation.
You're
Hey,
welcome.
Lee,
Yes.
you don't have to show guns every time. I mean,
But we'd like it.
we like it.
We like it,
do
but
other
yeah.
things too.
To me, it's we're here for y'all. You know, if there's a certain topic, and it doesn't even have to be, you can just say, pull something, from the Civil War, or we can do archives, we can do photos again. I've got some interesting letters that were given from signed by Patrick Cleburne. That's local history. As far as, General Patrick Cleburne. And I don't know, we have a little bit of everything. Rare books, if you're interested in that. I can pull some knives next time, maybe. I always get confused when it comes to Bowie knives, like that style, as far as what constitutes a Bowie knife, because I think sometimes people are a little, I don't know, they take liberty with it. I have no idea. But we've got swords, we've got just a little bit of everything. But since y'all requested firearms, I can do
Easy to please.
Absolutely.
Lee, have you ever had your dad come and look at all of these?
Once, and he got too happy. He was like, one of these, I was like, don't even think about it and don't take pictures. And I was like, he goes, this is wonderful. I go, don't touch. You can't touch. He went to work with me one day.
Yeah.
And I was inventorying some of our rifles. And those long rifles, the two that, again, Rebecca was referring to, that was in that niche, they're 62 inches long from barrel to the butt of the gun. Yeah. I'm 5'4" and that's 5'2".
Yeah.
And it was just.
How do you store those?
Those,
these, I assume you have in some kind of a box situation?
These are stored in boxes. So depending on if it's in decent condition, some are actually stored upright, where the bottom, the stock would be, and it goes up, or they're in individual boxes themselves and they lay flat.
Okay.
There are different ways.
That's kind of what I find the most interesting about what you guys do is that how to how to put all the things away the right way.
Yes.
All the right stuff you need, all the right ways to keep it from getting messed up.
Yes.
Especially the textiles. That to me would be so hard.
Textiles are interesting. Those are stored.
Do you say those long rifles were early 1900, late 1800s?
Late 1700s.
Okay, so that might be Kentucky's?
Yes, they are. They are Kentucky long rifles.
Okay.
Yeah. They are very much some of our older firearms, which was kind of my idea, like my thought process was to pull some of the oldest firearms within the United States. And those we had those two. I think we have another one. And then I decided to add a shotgun just to balance it out.
And you have some clothing.
And I have some clothing. I pulled a buckskin early 1800s men's jacket. It has fringe. It's a little bit on the smaller gentleman. I really had to find a mannequin that would fit him because he wasn't super big.
Could have been Annie Oakley,
It could have, it could absolutely have fit a woman, but we kind of filled it out a little bit more to help.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, we're not opposed to using women mannequins for some, because if it's a small, people weren't very big, so we can fill it out. We can absolutely make that mannequin fit that article of clothing, and we had to add arms
to the mannequin.
To the mannequin.
And then you got a little bit of taxidermy in there to kind of round out the whole little scene.
I did.
It's adorable. Well, I guess adorable.
It actually, I was very proud of it because it's not a very big display case. It's probably 100 inches by 100 inches, but coming from the Fort Worth Museum, we do have families, and so it wasn't trying to make a political statement or anything along those lines. It was trying to figure out, well, this is what you would use in everyday life if you're in the frontier.
Whether, it really does. It really looks like more of a a daily living vignette as opposed to
right, just straight 10 rifles, because children aren't necessarily interested in that. And I threw a beaver and a pheasant in that case and a squirrel to show, well, this is what you would shoot.
That's right.
If you shoot a squirrel with a long rifle, You don't have much
You
left.
know, I
Yeah,
threw the
yeah, we
pheasant
got
in
about-
for the shotgun to
Mhm.
make it. But you know, just things like that, just where it's not so, oh my God, there's firearms. It's
Yeah,
just
I know.
this is what you would use in everyday life. Most people would carry something
Yeah.
if
Right.
you're just out and about. So you just would. So
I'd love to see something about everyday life, if you'd like to put that in your idea for,
It was
can do that.
interesting. I was talking with some friends yesterday, and the guy lives in Gun Barrel, Texas,
mhm.
and he's combating beavers.
Oh,
Oh.
oh yes.
Always,
Seriously?
always. In fact, he's developed a kind of a not a trap, but a way to not so they can't block the irrigation
Yeah.
Oh, mhm.
pipes and things like that, you know, because they're always doing, you know.
Yep. Oh man, yes. You have to.
He said they had a ditch about 60 inches wide and they blocked it up to fill that whole thing with water.
A
You
woman
know.
I went to
Oh,
graduate
wow.
school
But they
with.
said he has a guy in the neighborhood who's a wounded warrior. He's got all the night vision goggles and everything. He
Oh,
goes out and he plinks them.
Like it. That's amazing.
it's effective. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, they're not endangered, so
Nope.
No.
go for it in everyday life.
A woman I went to- I went to graduate school with.
Thank you.
we
Thank
need
you.
to save
Thank
some
you very
stories
much.
for next time. It sounds like some
Yeah,
of our
yeah,
folks
yeah,
need
we
to
got-
go.
Too many
Oh,
things
okay.
to
Oh,
talk
yeah,
about.
yeah,
So
yeah.
anyway,
Lee,
you.
thank you
Right.
so
thank you very
much.
Thank
much,
you, Lee.
Lee.
Very good.
Thank you.
Bye.
Everybody
See you
have a
soon.
great day. We'll see you tomorrow for music.
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye,
Bye.
Bye, guys. Have a good
everybody.
day.